Last night, the final German troops stationed in Afghanistan left the country. Later this week, the withdrawal of U.S. troops is expected to be completed, ending a mission that began almost 2 decades ago, a mission that became America's longest war. It was the 9/11 terror attacks in the U.S. in 2001 that prompted the U.S.-led mission in Afghanistan. The target, the Taliban, which controlled Afghanistan at the time and had given the 9/11 terrorists a place to plot their attacks. $2 trillion later and countless casualties among Afghan civilians and alliance forces. Can anyone claim mission accomplished? As the withdrawal ends, the Taliban is reclaiming territory quickly. The top U.S. general predicted a civil war could erupt within months, and that could spell doom for the fragile progress that was achieved under the protective umbrella of an alliance that is now going home.
Donald Rumsfeld was brash and abrasive, infamously so. His critics say the combination was the former U.S. Defense Secretary's undoing during the worst days of the U.S. war in Iraq. Rumsfeld's take, he was right. His critics were wrong, and they couldn't stand it.
It's a fact. I'm a survivor.
Rumsfeld was a survivor of Washington politics. He made history as both the youngest and the oldest Secretary of Defense. And he did the bidding of 4 Republican presidents. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan sent Rumsfeld to Baghdad to try to broker closer ties with Saddam Hussein. But 2 decades later, it was Defense Secretary Rumsfeld who argued Saddam had to go.
With breaking news, Pennsylvania's highest court overturned Bill Cosby's sex assault conviction today after finding an agreement with a previous prosecutor prevented him from being charged in the case. Cosby has served more than 2 years of a 3 to 10 year sentence at a state prison near Philadelphia. He had vowed to serve all 10 years rather than acknowledge any remorse over the 2004 encounter with an accuser. The 83-year-old Cosby, who is once beloved as, quote, America's dad, was convicted of drugging and molesting the Temple University employee at his suburban estate. He was charged in late 2015 when a prosecutor armed with newly unsealed evidence, Cosby's damaging deposition from her lawsuit, arrested him days before the 12-year statute of limitations expired.
Jewish settlers have agreed to quit a remote outpost that has become a flashpoint for clashes with Palestinians who also claim the land. They'll quit Givat Eviatar in the Israeli-occupied West Bank under an agreement with Israel's new government. But it looks likely that at least some of its buildings will remain, locked and under military guard, an outcome sure to anger Palestinians who want it removed. They've waged night disruption protests over the last few weeks, burning flaming torches and tyres to send acrid smoke and a message into settler homes. Palestinian officials said Israeli soldiers have shot dead 5 Palestinians during stone-throwing protests since the outpost was set up. The settlement near the Palestinian city of Nablus grew rapidly. It was set up without permits in May and was soon home to more than 50 families.
There's damage and debris everywhere tonight. An LAPD bomb disposal truck loaded with illegal fireworks explodes in South LA. The massive bust and the devastating blast.
16 people injured when that bomb disposal truck exploded.
Officers were clearing out a garage packed with illegal fireworks when the blast turned the South LA neighborhood into what looked like a war zone.
This was an absolutely massive blast when this bomb disposal truck blew up in the middle of this residential neighborhood on 27th Street. We want to get you right to that video right now so you can see how incredible that was. It blew the roof right off that armored van. It blew the sides out. The windows on nearby businesses and homes blasted out instantaneously, and people were injured too, not only inside their homes, but tons of people who came and were standing on the streets.
You see the wall there, you see the wall here, and they have to get a paint job on the wall. It doesn't sound very elegant, right? The wall is a steel wall with very powerful concrete, 5,000-pound concrete in each bollard. And then in that you have rebar, very powerful rebar. It's very, very hard to cut, very hard to do anything about. And we have to get that painted now. They have to paint it. Because if they don't paint it, bad things are happening. I'm looking, and it has to be painted. And the best color to paint it is black. Because if you paint it black, it's so hot, nobody can even try to climb it. Not that they're successful anyway. Those are anti-climb panels on top, which I didn't want to do, but they said, sir, we need them, and they are great protection. It's the exact wall. We worked with the governor on this. It's the exact wall that Border Patrol, ICE, and all of the professionals wanted, the sheriffs.